speak as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And our like sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay
everyone?
calm.
What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
Help!
Here. Oh, take my hand.
Ah!
Come on. You're gonna fall unless you take my hand.
No, give me your other hand.
Oh, my other hand isn't strong enough. You take my little hand.
No! Get it away from me!
Take it. Take my hand.
Yo, how are you going, everyone? I just finished a day of work, and I thought I'm drawing this this friggin' panel. It's like a page, but it's a panel, but it's a big part of the page. It's basically a full page, and it is it's quite mind-numbing. So I thought I would just hang out and chat with all you while my brain slowly rots. Impromptu stream. I don't usually do this. In fact, I almost never do this, but I thought, why the hell not? Who's here? Is anyone here? We've got 10 people in here. Thank you, everyone, for turning up. We got Joe Wapner in the house, Eric Grant. Phoenix Press says, woot. Jamalkin sounds like Eddie Redmayne in Jupiter Rising. What did I even play? I'll have to take your word for it. Mo Big's in the house. What time is it, Mo? Must be quite late. SDA's here. Take my little hand. Bogan World. How you going? Joe Bull. Your line art. Off the chains, band. Thank you so much. Yeah, this has killed me. Thank you. That's a big compliment coming from Joe. Mark Trafford in the house is not here. Sorry. Mark isn't here. Salkari Alt Einan. Heyo. What a name. Godzilla. Bootleg Godzilla. Did you love my my Godzilla from yesterday on the Eiffel Tower? BLT's here. Astrozom. Thank you, everyone. 16 people in here. Wow. Only you could do a stream and always fight and get 15 people to watch. No, well, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who could get a lot more. But that's okay. We're just hanging out. Where's Charlton Heston? Is he dead? Is Charlton Heston still alive? Back to that death book. Yeah, death. Rocks. All right. I'm going to just get to drawing. So I'll respond to your comments, but I probably won't be bringing them up because this is production time. So I'll see them, but I won't highlight them unless it's a super chat. I will highlight a super chat because you know what I'm like. You know I'm a whore for the money. But yeah, basically this is what I'm doing. He died. Charlton Heston died in 2000. I'm a bit late on that. So yeah, I'm actually, it's like flatting with inks because I've got to show the white. I got to bring out the white now. See this spot up here I missed. It's just that easy. Am I in the right color? It looks like that's the wrong color. What the hell? What? Oh, I'm in the wrong pen. That'll do it. That will do it. I shouldn't zoom in too much, and you can see all my flaws. Let's just zoom right out and fill in some spots here. Look at these spots I missed. Damn laziness. Mr. Monkey says Charlton Heston parted the Red Sea. I remember that. Yeah, this looks a bit all right. I see. I'm getting it now. I'm getting it. Yeah. There's who's the tall Charlton Heston, I guess would be the tall one, and he's standing with a shorter guy. I don't know who that might be. Parting the red right. I'm a bit slow. Don't mind me. I just work here. Nice waves, says Matt LaRock. Thank you. Yeah, I've still got to put in some watery bits like over the top of things, you know, like little things like this and strings of water to just, that'll be the final touch. But I've got to do this mind-numbing part of blocking out all this white so you can actually see the top of the wave. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I thought I would, if I have to suffer through it, you guys can all suffer through it with me. I've just got to sort of, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, I suppose. Just got to, you know, I did the line art just, you know, as quickly as I could. And now I've got to try and go back in and sort of figure out what the hell it is by giving it some definition. I guess that's inking, isn't it? I'm tracing my own stuff. Devilfish says, maybe it's honey. I shrunk the kids from inside a toilet bowl. Could be. Could be. Actually, I'll let you know. I mean, I actually did sort of let it slip what this is. It's not quite a dream. It's more like a memory that you can enter. You can enter a memory in the Lucent, which I think is pretty nifty. You can have covert conversations no one else can listen in on in this heavily surveilled world that we live in now. There's no one listening in on your memories. And as well, because it's happening inside, I mean, I guess it's sort of like, it could be inside a mind. It could be a collective consciousness. I'll leave that up to the reader. Funky stuff can happen like this. And yeah, maybe it's a toilet bowl flush. It's not a comb flood. SDA, that would be gross. That would be very gross. It's not that, you can tell it's not that viscous. And I hope your comb doesn't froth like that, because if it does, you should go get that checked out. Like ASAP. Frothy comb. Looks like someone getting on or off the toilet bowl, says Devilfish. What is going on in your toilet? I do know we have we have a superior flushing system in Australia than the Americans. That is true. It was an Australian who invented the dual flush. Not only did it save water, it was just a superior way of getting the waste down. I feel like no one had really improved on the flushing system. The first flushing system, I think, was invented by the Romans, I think. And then there was Mr. Crapper. And then there was the Aussie guy. And I feel ashamed I don't know his name, but what are you going to do? Dan, no. It is not a... Everyone's very dirty-minded in this community. But I guess that's what we've come to expect. This is water. This is seawater. Well, it's seawater of the mind. It's metaphorical. It's meant to represent, well, it's not meant to. It does represent an event that you're all probably, if you've read Waking Dream, you're probably familiar with already. You got to put that together. I'm not going to hold your hand in this book. Phoenix Press asks, Bogomod, yes, our half flush is more powerful than their full. That is true. You don't even need the full flush. I mean, unless you've done an absolute, you've dropped an absolute whopper. I don't ever use the full flush. It's just not necessary. The half flush will do. And Americans come here and they're bemused and confused with the 2 buttons on our toilets. I think it's like they made it a law. You have to have a dual flush in Australia. You can't go single anymore. It's a water regulation thing. And, yeah, superior flushing. To answer your question, do the toilets, does the water swell opposite the way from the USA? Well, it's not just the USA. It's Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere. If you're talking in a toilet, no. Our toilet water doesn't swirl. It's sort of, actually, it looks a lot more like this. It, like that. And it's from all angles. And it's, like I said, it's just a superior method. But if you were to, say, have a still body of water with no external things happening, you're not messing with it or anything, yes, it will naturally swell down in the opposite direction. It's a very uninteresting thing to check out, though. It's like you think that would be cool. But people do come here from the Northern Hemisphere and they try it out and then they realize, oh, this is more uninteresting. And then they just move on with their life. Who else we got in here? We got his name was John Crapper. Yeah, that's the guy who invented the flush, the modern flush. The Romans had believe it or not, the Romans back thousands of years ago had flushing toilets. Well, the gentry did, the upper classes. Did you know in ancient Rome, most people went to poo together in a shared toilet room where they're all facing each other, and it was seen as a place to socialize and do business and discuss the topics of the day. Wonder what it smelt like in there, what the sounds would have been like, because it's a smallish room enclosed in stone, probably not much in the way of anything to dampen the sounds. So yeah, cacophony of ploops and other interesting what am I saying? What the hell am I going on about? We got the Voyager, and he says, Hal Bancroft. Mo says, this looks more like the Lucent Wet Dream. Very much so. Devilfish says, I need to zoom out again. I'll put a dot on my thing. All right, let me catch up with the chat here because I don't know what's going on. It's not going down. Worked at a hardware store, says Bootleg Godzilla. They had a toilet on the floor that could flush 12 golf balls. It was crazy. Sounds it. Mo says, sounds like they invented an overly complex flushing system to hide the shame of their arts backwards. Well, no. Afternoon, Bancroft. Yeah, well, evening now, really. It's 6 p.m. But welcome to you, Jaro. All right, we've got Alpha Lane in the house. We've got Rick. We've got Simply Green. Yeah, this stream went down the drain rather quickly. You are correct, Phoenix Press. This is sudden, the stream. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like getting into it today. 31 people watching. Wow. Oh, holy cow. Welcome all. One and all to this. You're just helping me get through this process. It's not all glitz and glamour, making comic books and doing comic book art. I don't know if you guys know this. I was watching a Dave Finch draw stream the other day. He was drawing Moon Knight, which is a very underwhelming TV show, I must say. And it's getting more difficult to watch by the episode. But I do need to put something on while I draw at night. Although I'm putting Mel through it, and I wouldn't say I was a fan of Moon Knight when I was a kid, but I did like the design and everything. And he would occasionally drop in on Spider-Man, and they would have a bit of an adventure. So I like to share these characters with Mel, and then I'm like, oh look, it's this really effeminate British guy who's scared of everything, and he's a complete friggin' puss. Awesome. So yeah, not really enjoying that. But Dave Finch, jeez, the guy can draw. I mean, he puts on a show. That's probably why he has 500 people watching his draw streams. And man, yeah, it was something to behold. I don't do that here. I put you through this because I want you to see the reality of the situation. So I mean, this is basically flatting at this point. And I would never ask a flatter to do this. And plus, I mean, a lot of it isn't just sort of making it up. So they probably look at it and say, oh, what the hell do you want me to do here? And I don't want to answer those questions, so I just do it myself. But it isn't flatting. It's part of the art. Actually, I can probably fill that in now. Look. This is the satisfying part right here. Oh yeah. And more of it is revealed. Poor Mel says this dark side. Yeah. Joe Wapner just watches old King of the Hill episodes. We were watching Scrubs for a long time. I think we got up to 6 seasons in, but sometimes you just, and you get and have enough of a show. It's time to move on. I might go back to Scrubs when there's absolutely nothing else available. And yeah, that's that. We've got Genuine Comics. How you going, Dave? Yes, I said, Dave was like, I'll start up a stream and you can be a guest. And I was like, oh, what a dick. What a dick I am. And I said, oh, I think I'll start my own, Dave. And he was like, I see what's happening here. Though he gave me a wink, so I hope we're still friends. Perfect 10 closed out at, I think, when did that close out at? You let me know. I can't remember now. I looked at it today, actually. I can't even remember. 15K. There it is. Thank you, Mo. Yes. Very good. You know what that thought when I saw that as well? I thought, you know, freaking B Rose almost made 10K on his first book. It made me actually have a little bit of pride in my heart for B Rose that he got that high, you know, with his first book. A guy like Dave Brink's making 15. He's, you know, got a library of successes behind him. So yeah, congratulations. That's really good. It's a couple of hundred and backers and more with change. Bootleg. Anyone gonna have a small press alternative comic expo in Ohio next month? That's a bit far for me. Perth Comics. I've been watching the Herd trial. No CG lives. Oh man. Or when there's no CG live streams, so I couldn't do that. I could not do that. I mean, it's just wall to wall. She's a crazy woman, isn't it? And he was completely wrong done. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, hopefully, who knows what goes on over there in the justice system, though. It's just not my cup of tea. Monkey Boys. I can't watch David Finch. He reminds me of Peter Garrett. Thankfully, he doesn't dance like him. Man, he can draw, though. Holy hell. What the hell is up, Bancroft? How chat? Well, I'm just trying to get through a particularly mind-numbing part of the process. Old Dirty Fatty, keep going. You're doing great. Thank you. Love a bit of support there. Mandy Summers. What's up, CG? Hey, Mandy, how you going? I know I saw some disturbing footage earlier. I was checking out Leroy's stream, and Shane shared something. I'm guessing it's from the Ballers. Did you have some sort of zip off I mean, that's what I'm assuming was going on. Some of the faces you guys were pulling, I'll just leave it at that. Everyone should definitely check that out. I don't know what was going on, but I approve. As long as it's all selling comics. Bootleg, I don't think I could care any less about Johnny Depp and his crazy wife. Yeah, I'm about there too. Phoenix Press, Bureau's grinded his ass off. Boy earned his 10K. Yeah, he did. He put himself up for public judgment. And for a guy like that, the way he is, the way he looks, the habits he has, the room he lives in, that is... Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. That was... that's something else. I just can't help it. Every time I see B-Rose, I just want to make fun of him. But he did well, so... I mean, what can I say? Mo says, Mandy is a trooper. She's going on B-Rose's channel. Oh my god. Good luck, Mandy. We salute you and your sacrifice. Right, Scott. What my chat just is not. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pop out my live chat because this friggin' StreamYard chat is not doing it for me. Hold on a sec. Let me pop this out. It stays. It's just it auto loads. I don't know what's going on with my StreamYard one. Doesn't want to do anything. Yeah, you're in for it, Mandy. Have fun with that. I enjoy going on B Rose's stream. I don't know what that says about me, but I enjoy everyone on there. I even like Phoenix, and that's not because he sent me a $50 super chat a $50 PayPal that time. I genuinely like the guy. I mean, I don't agree with his prostitute killing policies, but he's been good to me. You know? Is that what happens when you find out someone you know is a serial killer, and you're like, well, he was nice to me. I mean, we always had good conversations. Shant says, go to sleep. It's late. This chat moves too fast. How many people we got in here? 37 people? Damn. This one I need Rob. Oh, wow. Thanks for the invite, Rob. I mean, I didn't want to burden you, but you're more than welcome to come in and hang out. Same goes to Shant. If he wants to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to StreamYard. That's moving too quickly for me. I hope it... What's this? Hide current comment? Oh, did I have that comment on the whole time? Oh, God. Yeah, all right. I'm just going to have to do a chat reset. I apologize if I missed any incredible jokes or compliments or anything like that. But, we do what we do. See, this is what I'm talking about. Where do I go now? Because I haven't colored this in correctly. See, I couldn't give this to a flatter because they'd be like, what the hell do you want me to do here? And I'd just say, just figure it out. Now, it looks like this is water up here. Yeah, that's definitely so. What I usually do when I get stuck, I just start painting in another bit and then I'll figure it out once I get there. Join up the dots. It's like a puzzle. Everything in the Lucent is like a puzzle. Just remember that. Since the CG Con Bootleg Godzilla isn't happening this year, is there a con in the Midwest where a bunch of creators will be? There's a lot of creators going to a lot of conventions. Get onto Phoenix. He knows them all. Yeah, ask the chat. I don't know. I don't know anything about cons. But now that the world is opening up again, I guess we can start talking about a meetup. At least the one that I can start promoting and actually make. That would be cool. Get over there. I've never been to the States before. And this would not be a convention, of course. It would just be a hangout. I don't want to be doing any drawing. I don't want to be sitting at any table. None of that. I want to be doing fun stuff. Arkanas Einbrecht. Is that how you say that? Question is, should the West intervene and stop the Emu Ostrich Alliance, or should we allow Aussie land to fall after rescuing Bancroft and other notable Aussies? If ostriches ever turned on emus would be destroyed. Ostriches are massive. People don't know how big ostriches are until you've seen one in the flesh. They are giant beasts. They're real life dinosaurs. Stop gatekeeping Shanth. Does Shanth want in? Okay, send the link. All right, I'm going to send the link to Rob. I'll put the link in the old, what's it called? What the hell's it called? Messages. People sending messages. The Waffle Lodge. So if anyone wants to jump in, they're more than welcome to. Where the hell is it? Invite. There she blows. Shant and I are like, we're streaming every 12 hours now together. You can't stay apart. We're like two celestial bodies entwined in orbit. All right. I'm going to send the link to Rob. I specifically said Shant gatekeeping Rob is good for your channel, says Mo. Well, I just sent the link to the Waffle Lodge. What the hell am I going to do here? I mean, what is this? You zoom out here. What have I done? So the pieces don't align. So maybe just a little bit like this, I guess. Just start coloring in. That'll do. Yeah, good enough. Emus are bigger than ostriches? No, emus are tiny compared to ostriches. Ostriches are behemoths, and emus are not scary compared to an ostrich. Hello, fancy
Hey,
seeing
up,
you here, Mr. N. Jesse. How long has it been now? Like a couple of hours?
I don't even know anymore.
Yeah,
it's good stuff.
We just what do you like to say? While they sleep, we work.
That's right. While they sleep, we work.
You sound like you're half asleep.
Not really, actually. I just am talked out. I've got a not talked out. I've got tomorrow my daughter, who I am convinced was in a stroller yesterday. I'm taking her for her driver's test to get her license.
Oh, that's a big day.
Man, it's nuts. So yeah, so I'm just painting and hanging out and doing what I do.
Is that your eldest?
Well, they're twins, so by 1 minute.
Oh, right, of course they're twins. Yeah, you've got birds chirping, and I've got a friggin' cicada doing its twilight little mating thing. They just came out of the ground the other day. Do you know how long cicadas stay in the ground?
I don't know. They're like the zombies, right? Isn't it like 7 years or something crazy like that?
It's a long, yeah. I think it actually might be longer than that. I think it might be like 17 years or something. Rob, you've got the invite. Stop grumbling, you old man. It's in the friggin' Waffle Lodge. God, he's so predictable. Jason Black says it really comes down to what side the cassowaries take. Yeah. If the cassowaries get involved, that's like if the emus are the men in Lord of the Rings, and the ostriches are the orcs and the urukai, the cassowary are the ents. If they get involved, watch out. They're gonna fuck shit up. Pardon my swearing.
Can you say that in Elfish?
In Twindelen te Flunde Hulde Intie.
Shit up.
Imagine if that was real.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Well, you know how,
No,
like,
I
when you hear other people in another country speaking and they'll drift into English for profanity? It's so
yeah.
glorious. Oh, man.
Old Dirty Fatty says, no, you're right. 7 years is right.
Is it?
No, yeah, John, that is my cicada. Bo Big says you lost 5 viewers when mentioning the possibility of Rob joining the stream. He's not joining. If he wanted to, he would
It's
have
when I
already
got
been
here.
here. He just wants to complain. Don't worry, everyone come back. It's fine.
Let's see
Yeah, I studied German for 4 years, Shant. In my spare time. I was in preparation. I had a calling. I wanted to go to Germany. Germany is the mecca of graphic design.
Yep.
And well, I guess I just knew that I would meet my wife there, so
That's
I
right.
just had to go. And so I was learning German, and there's not much and this is back in the day where you couldn't really, I mean, you couldn't, there's no YouTube, you couldn't just go and listen to German whenever you wanted. But finally, after years and years of study, I'm on a bus in Melbourne, and two old German ladies on the bus. And I'm like, it's my time. Finally, I get to actually listen to some German and see if I can understand it. And I could understand it. So I was very happy with that. But you know, when you hear people talking in a fancy foreign language, you think they're going to be saying something profound.
Yep.
They're not.
Yeah.
They were talking about some old tree.
Yeah.
On the road. I look at that tree out there. And I was like, oh, 4 years of study for that.
I don't speak German, but I heard it all the time, man, in my house, because my mom is half Austrian, or was half Austrian, I should say. So she speaks fluent German, and so I had an Oma and I had an Orly, and but it was out of the family was from Linz, so I had an uncle Franz Geralt and a cousin named Reinhard.
Reinhard.
Yeah, my grandmother's
Reinhard.
That's right. Yeah.
Mittagessen.
Mensch, ärgere dich nicht. You know, it's one of those things that you just look at and you just kind of. The only time we ever knew they were talking about us is if you heard someone drop an Arschloch, you know, or something like that, or Scheißkopf. Then you knew someone was talking about one of the kids. But yeah, I grew up with German all around.
Compared to the French, German insults are pathetic. It makes you wonder how they ever occupied France.
Because the tone.
French insults
are
glorious. There's things that just absolutely very inventive, colorful, and they sound really harsh. But
yeah, man,
the German ones, Arschloch, Dummkopf.
Schweinhund is pretty good. If you can get it.
Pig dog.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think probably
I've always loved that.
Australians are a lot more colorful with our insults.
Well, to me, the best insults culture of all time is you know, the Northerners or the Irish, you know, adjacent. I mean, that's the best stuff I ever hear. I love that stuff.
I'm gonna find some French swear words. Let's listen to them.
I think it's the German delivery, though. I mean, hello sounds more threatening. Oh, man.
All right. So when something is like frustrating, you go zoot, like zootalo, like that. It's not that much. But how about this one? This one. Putain, like that. That's the F word. Putain.
Spanish is better.
Salop is like a bitch. Salop. Connard, connasse. Merde.
Mierda is better.
The girl is shut your mouth.
Yeah, but don't you think Spanish is better? Especially like
Spanish do.
this hemisphere. Just like when you say, like, when you're saying bitch in French and it's like puta. I mean, it's like there's nothing. To me, Spanish is just better, man. It's just I love French. It's great. Thank you for the comics, Franco-Belgium comics, Belgium and France. But thank you for Mobius. But when it comes to, for me, I mean, I think it's just because I watch fighting, you know, and it's like all of my favorite fighters, Eric El Terrible Morales and all those guys, they just had the best. They have the best profanity. It's just
well, maybe it might be the way I'm saying it, like with my Australian accent. Although Mel always, she doesn't like it when I say connasse. That could be like the French C word.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Casse-couille. I think that's like ball breaker. Votre fait foutre. Let's go F yourself. I don't know. It might be just the way I'm saying it.
It could be. It sounds
John
like you're ordering
says,
off a menu.
Pardonnez-moi, votre fait foutre. Bancroft, what does I love you sound like in German? It depends where you're from. I would have said ich liebe dich. But some people might say ich liebe dich. Mel probably would have said ich liebe dich, like that.
Is that why you call me Shotzi? Liebchen.
Oh, mein Liebchen.
Mein
Oh,
Liebchen.
Schatze.
That's right.
Yeah.
Guten Tag.
I learnt the normal sort of high German, which was actually I was lucky that where I went to go stay, and I didn't know this, but that's what they speak there.
Oh, yeah.
So, but in Berlin, where Mel's from, they speak Berlin, or whatever they call it, where it's like it's all weird. And then in the south, they do the what we might probably think of as German, where they're like wunderbar, like that, you know, with the rolling R's and
all the important German comes from Die Hard. Schießt den Fenster.
Oh, yeah. Schießt die Fenster. What? Shoot the glass. That was probably the first German I ever learned.
Yep, it's good stuff, man.
I want to learn. I like the sound of that language. I want to learn more.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things you got to learn. Like Nick's Schießen. That was from Die Hard 3.
Mo says, did I just dream that, or did Bancroft just pull down his hoodie only to immediately put on a hat? I like to be, I don't know, warm. I like to have something on my head, and I was getting a bit hot under the hood, so I needed a little bit of. I
swear, I came on the stream, starts calling me Shotzi, got all overheated.
But not too much there.
By the way, did you see the glorious thumbnail I made for our stream the other night?
No. What? Let me go check it out.
It was
make the thumbnail.
It's a cascading series of events. We may be the only people who would get that, but I thought it was funny.
I came in from that. Sound. Let me describe it for everyone.
Oh dear.
There's the painting you were doing for CG Vacation with the bikini and the fish. There's me looking like Darth Sidious. Actually, I look like a real creeper. And then there's the Eiffel Tower, and then there's the shot of Linda in the Linda
swimsuit
bikini. Is it a swimsuit? Yeah, I'll show it for everyone rather than just describing it.
They called it the swimsuit of dreams, and it was.
Share screen.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is a visual format after all. Now, I came in after that stream and Mel was like, was that fun checking out asses on a stream with Shant? I was like, hey, that was Shant's idea.
First of all, I was the only real ass on that stream. Second of all, no, Mel, Much love. I just want to say to Eric Huffles, just so you know, I know what you're talking about. Beware the Viper. I've come to wipe your windows. One of the all-time, my favorite, I hope that's what you're talking about, my favorite G.I. Joe episodes ever. The poor little German man coming to clean the windows. And everybody's trying to figure out.
I'm not aware of that one.
What's going on? Oh, yeah. Don't worry. You're not missing out too much.
The only G.I. Joe I ever saw was I had a couple of VHS tapes of some G.I. Joe episodes. I watched them on loop.
Mm-hmm.
I liked them.
Mo
Biggs. Hey Mel, I don't even like women's asses. Look at my ass.
Oh no.
Damn.
No.
That's cruel. Especially since he knows that I have at least had Mel take some photos for reference of. That was more for poses. That wasn't for asses and stuff.
So
I would never do that to Mel.
She asked about us watching that video, but did not mention the painting idea I had for you sitting in the chair while she mows the lawn, a la one of those. I mean, you know, I assumed she would bring that up. I don't know why that was.
Once there's ass on the screen, then she just, like I said, women get competitive. Remember we were talking about that.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something about
their
that.
Brain
though.
Shuts
down. That was like when I saw that commercial, I thought, was this on a television somewhere? Like I was trying to understand. Like yeah, all your reports from Australia, you know, I was not prepared for them with ads such as that. It's like they seem like a free people. Good Lord. Oh man. What a riot.
We are a free people. Yeah,
you are.
Sometimes
we
want to be.
Yeah,
we have potential.
Well, the pendulum.
People are talking about their favorite G.I. Joe episodes. I didn't even remember.
That's right.
What episodes I had.
I wonder that's what he was talking about. Was that what he was talking about? I don't even know. Let's see here. Yes, I've come to wipe your windows. SDA. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, ich bin ein Berliner. Yeah, I am a jelly donut. Never forget that.
No,
it's a good thing he wasn't in Frankfurt.
That is an urban myth.
Yeah, I know.
That's a perfectly regular thing to say. It's like it's the equivalent of saying, "Hey, I'm Danish." Everyone knows you're not saying you're an item you might get from a bakery. You know.
That's true, but if you're up here in New England and you say you're a Boston cream pie, I mean, people are going to take that.
Yeah, if I get up on the stage and say, I am a meat pie.
That's right.
There's only one way to really interpret
That's true, man.
Actually, I used to know a girl who went to go stay in. I did. Ahead, I knew a girl. Her name was Sarah. Just Sara.
Yeah. Wow.
And she went to go live in Switzerland with an exchange, you know, a family, a student exchange thing.
Uh-huh.
And the Swiss are very, I don't know, maybe it was just this family, but they all walked around naked. Like,
wow.
They showered with the door open and they just all walked around naked. And they weren't young either. We're talking, you know, like between 15 and 50.
Wait.
Anyway, that wasn't the point of my story. The point is,
yes.
They came to Australia as well. At least some of them did. And there was this big goofy dude who was like apparently 6'5" or something. And he had spoken very broken English. And they took him to McDonald's. And he got up to he was like, I got this. He got up to the counter and just said, I am Big Mac. In this big loud Swiss accent.
That's awesome.
It's pretty funny. It reminded me of that with the I am a Berliner. Mo says Bancroft was so memorized by that porn on the Feral Bush Pig's house. It now has a hole in his art where a woman's ass should be. Mo, you're killing me. You're killing me. I can't read this. I can barely say it. They made me say that on who was it? Eric Weathers.
Oh yeah,
Maybe say that on friggin' John Malin's stream.
I missed that. Thank God, I was there a little later.
Every time I'm forced to retell that story, it gets shorter and shorter.
That's right.
See, you always feel like the first time you tell a story is the best.
Yep.
They want you to retell it. It's like it was perfect the first time. We don't need to go back there.
Yeah, look at The Force Awakens.
Yeah. I actually didn't mind The Force Awakens in the cinema when I watched it. It was only when I got home and I was
I'll see you later. No, go.
it was like, hang on. Like that, I had this. It was like when I saw, what was it called? Phantom Menace. I really loved it the first few times.
Yep.
And I stopped to start thinking about it. And that's when things
I
started
will
to
tell
get a bit
you
sour for me.
where I come down on that movie or all those movies. When you've got somebody who is, the creator in a world, whether, people like it or not or whatever, you're getting their vision. Like I've heard Tolkien fans talk about, but have you read the Silmarillion? I'm like, at the end of the day, guys, I like to see interesting people make work. I mean, I don't know what J.K. Rowling's doing with Harry Potter and these movies and all that other stuff. I mean, it is what it is, but at least you have some sense, what this person thinks about it. And I never really realized how, I guess I did actually. See, I don't even say that. I always knew George Lucas's crazy ideas were the core, feature of what made Star Wars work. And for, all throughout the prequels, people were saying, oh, George Lucas is the Star Wars problem. It was really his wife, Marsha Lucas, who had an affair with the guy who did the stained glass dome in Skywalker Ranch. And I'm like, really? Was that who it was? That's interesting. Was she the savior of Star Wars? No. Was she not a bad thing, but what ingredient could you remove from Star Wars to have the whole franchise collapse? And clearly it was
George Lucas.
It was George Lucas. Just like, try to imagine writing, a sequel to any big book, that's been written by somebody, or great movie series, It's like, it is what it is. When I saw The Force Awakens, I'll tell you something funny about it. I actually was in that movie up until original trilogy characters came in. The second Han Solo came in, it broke the world. Because I was like, what? It just felt so like, because they weren't the center of the story. It sort of shoehorned them in.
Yeah.
Like I'm following these characters, trying to get into something new. So it seems like it, and I agree, John, no doubt. But it just sort of seems to me like you couldn't do anything interesting, It's like you can't. It was like not even it wasn't a cameo, and it wasn't an actually important role. So it didn't serve anybody. It was kind of a strange thing. Plus, everybody was getting up there, in age. Like it's pretty rough to watch. I do not want to see the new. Well, even if it was a great script, I don't want to see the new Indiana Jones film. It's just,
yeah, no, I won't be seeing that either. I went
God bless
I
him,
went
but-
and watched the last one, and I was just so bewildered.
Yep.
I think the most I've been bewildered in a movie recently, or I say recently, within memory, was probably The Hobbit. I went into The Hobbit, and you think about going into The Hobbit, you're coming out of Return of the King.
Yeah.
That's the last thing you watched from this group. And you go into The Hobbit. I was like, wow. Okay.
So you guys are, that's perfect. That's perfect context though. So you come out of Return of the King and then you go into the Hobbit trilogy and you're like, this is, first of all, there need to be a trilogy and this is no Lord of the Rings. And then you go into the Amazon series. And that's what the sequel trilogy is. It's the Amazon series. Where you're
Has that
like,
come out yet though?
No, but it's gonna be freaking ghastly, man.
It's gonna be
The Force Awakens, man. You're gonna go, man. I wish Peter Jackson would make another 6 Hobbit movies as opposed to this crap. That's what it's gonna be, man. It's like the reins are off. Good luck, everybody. You know.
Yeah, it sort of looked like a bit like the same world, but sort of cheaper and not as serious. Or I don't know what it was. It was just
It's
was
that
just
indescribable
weird.
thing, man. Star
Yeah.
Wars Force Awakens, they spent a ton of money on it. It just was off. It's that missing ingredient of whatever that creativity is that, you know, separates this stuff from The Witcher or any other general fantasy thing or Game of Thrones, you know, or any of those. It's crazy. Oh, geez, 40% Zed, my friend. I understand. It is very late here. Or there, I guess.
Yeah, Shanth keeps some weird hours, I tell you.
I was up at 10, man.
We were up talking.
12 hours ago.
You were up at 10, Shanth?
I was
This
up at
isn't
10:15 this morning. Yeah. So
This
I don't-
isn't
how long is
healthy.
that?
We were up talking the role of government and natural rights and liberties in a very philosophical way on your channel until 5 something in the morning with you.
Yeah.
It was brilliant, but yeah, I don't know how you're keeping those sorts of hours.
Well, if you want to hear something a little bit more disturbing, I don't sleep very well. So what I will usually do is actually every night I take 2 Simply Sleep. You know what those are? Benadryl.
No.
It's
Benadryl?
Yeah, it's just a dose of Benadryl, like 2 Tylenol PMs to knock you out. And I took my Simply Sleep an hour ago.
So are you just gonna like collapse at some point?
Nope, I don't go.
No.
Listen, I woke up when they were. I woke up during my wisdom teeth removal and said, "Please stop." So I need a lot to put me.
Did they all freak out?
They did. They hit me with more stuff, man. But yeah, the only time I've ever passed out, like it legitimately passed out, I think, because I can't remember it, is when my appendix ruptured and I went septic. Like, so I was waiting for surgery. I'd perforated, but then it full ruptured. And I was coming in and out of consciousness. And it was really painful, man. It sucked.
Doesn't sound like it was pleasant.
But yeah. But I mean, when I came out of anesthesia after 5 hours, because it was a severe, you know, what's it called? Complication. That when I came out of surgery, my wife goes, "Honey, are you still there? Are you still in there?" Like joking lightly, because I was kind of coming out of, you know, stuff. And the first thing I said is, I go, "No, it's not me. It's the one-armed man." And I was like out of drugs trying to make her laugh. Wasn't a good joke. And then I looked over and I saw the nurse there. And I said, I looked over at the nurse and I said, "I hope I'm coming out of surgery, because if I just woke up next to another woman and my wife is here, I'm about to die." Oh, man. Good times. Oh, man. But when you have, like, I had 2 1-year-olds or soon to be 1-year-olds. So it was the end of like a banner year.
Is that what made you have a burst appendix?
No, that was every other generation. The generation next, 100% of the kids have an appendix rupture at the age of 29. So both
I still have my appendix. I feel like it's a ticking time bomb.
No, it's actually important, man. It's a very important organ. They just figured out what it is, so I'm screwed. Man. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it called the appendix because they thought it didn't do anything?
Yeah, and it's a
like
sac that keeps stuff in your gut. Organ. Yeah, it keeps it's a little pouch that keeps certain kinds of I guess it's bacteria or whatever in your gut that's good for you to have. So it's like it's you don't really want to lose it if you don't have to. So it's it's a useful thing.
Ethan said the other day, Shant. I liked hearing this. He was doing a draw stream. Actually, this is the one I jumped onto, and he said, I feel like this is the future of comics.
You already told me this, and then he hid the stream. I'm mad about it.
Yeah, you missed it.
I missed it.
I think you would agree with me. I mean, that's a good thing to hear. I like that.
Yeah, I do
What do you
too.
reckon? I mean, you are a draw streamer kind of guy.
Hmm. I
And
guess
I feel
so.
like more people are getting into it.
I am. I feel like it's sort of my thing, and now other people are getting into this whole
Yeah,
art
stealing
thing
your
that I
idea.
invented.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
here's what I think it comes down to. And I've been thinking really hard about this stuff, man. I really have, and I don't know if the chat ever thinks about this, but is it Joe Bob Briggs and The Last Drive-In, who had that show, talking about horror movies and pop culture and how you draw attention to things. And I've been thinking a lot about the fact that we have this technology to actually make shows. It takes a lot of time, right? It takes work. But whenever I'm working on a show, even with CG team, some of it'll work, some of it won't. When I was doing the videos for Ethan, some of it'll work, some of it won't. But it's trying to create some stuff that's, that's somewhat original that people respond to. You know what I mean? Like that it makes them, they're entertained. The thing Ethan said, I've never forgot, is when he talked about how, and I don't even know if he's pronouncing it correctly, so I've got someone who speaks German here. But he said that when the Beatles were in Hamburg, they were in this bar or whatever playing, and the guy behind the counter owned the place, kept screaming at them. Was it Mach Chow or something, or make show? What is that in German?
Mach Schau.
Mach Chow. Yeah, and he kept shouting that at them. They said, "What is he saying?" And he said, "Make a show, be entertaining." And that's when they started to really think about how they would interact with each other and perform and kind of create that sense of you're seeing something fun. And I think about that sometimes. And I think about, I don't mean like it's like it's Thursday night and we're going to do this. I like to kind of keep things random. I think that is a cool aspect of it. But I think that everybody's got to kind of find their own thing. Like when I see Ethan is streaming randomly doing a draw stream, it's kind of cool. He does both. It's like, Eric Weathers has started doing that too, man. He's got some.
Eric Weathers he's finally brought it to YouTube, and people actually watching.
Yeah,
he was
man.
trying it on Twitch for a long time, and it was a hard slog for him. Mo Big says this channel is the place where CG's good gut bacteria hang out.
That's right.
And he says, I have permission to use that as a pull quote. That's a good quote. I like it.
It is. It's true.
Yeah, it's even Shane is getting in on the action, and he, notoriously doesn't like to draw on stream. And I don't really draw much on stream. I do more stuff like this because when I try to do stuff, everything slows down.
Yeah, it's always slower on stream. Yeah,
I'm already pretty slow, so stuff like this I can handle and talk at the same time. But I wonder, like, is this sort of a sea change that's happening?
Well, I think it's what we can do that they can't, right? It's like people who like, it's like people who don't know how to draw, don't know how to paint, don't know how to entertain, don't know how to write, don't know how to do any of this stuff. Like when I was on CG Team earlier today, and if you guys haven't subbed to Eric Weathers' channel, I'm assuming most of you guys have, do give him a sub. He's an awesome dude. And I had a great time on there with Vaughn and Clint, and Rob couldn't make it today, so that was kind of sad. But, we love Rob. But he kept himself. But everybody was getting out their work from when they were younger. And I actually had a really, a moment that kind of hit me, which is I took out the 75th anniversary Flash Gordon hardcover. I did a short story in that was written by Len Wein, one of the most famous comic book writers in American comics. And Vaughn had it. He owned a copy of it. I was like, wow, that's fucking weird.
Small world.
It is a small world, but we were showing our artwork, and both Vaughn and Clint have illustrated their share of comic book pages as a part of their writing. And it's really inspiring to see the people who are the doers and not, that's what I don't know which logo I have it on, but on one of my logos, I have, in Latin on one side, action, not words. And I forget what the other one was, but it was, but it's you know, I think that stuff is important, and this is the action of Comicsgate. You know, this is what we actually do. Like, if you know someone is ranting at you, you know, some shrieking harpy, you know, some hectoring shrew, and that's a gender neutral hectoring shrew, because there's a lot of dudes who fall into that category on Twitter, certainly. All you got to do is just quietly take out your stuff and show your work. It's it. That's the place where they can't keep up with you.
I think about that because I was there for Gamergate, and I watched. I mean, that thing was massive. It was global. It was huge. Obviously, the gaming industry is magnitudes bigger than the comic book industry, but it just all fizzled out. You know, whatever was going on, they couldn't keep. No one could keep, you know, a few thousand rabble-rousing Twitter fans on Twitter or whatever, just sort of focused on something without anything to glue it all together. And, you know, it always amazes me that, you know, almost 5 years on now, we're still here.
They had a disadvantage.
There's still people super interested and engaged sort of every day. And it's brilliant. I just screwed that up. Hold on a sec.
Sorry.
That's because of what we're doing.
Yes,
because of the creation side of it.
Yep.
I've done it again. Where's the
they're a part of something. They're seeing characters that have never existed in any other. God, I feel like I'm about to go in. People, I love the Goonies. Okay, just know that. But I do feel like, you know, right now is our time. It's our time in CG, and we're like, when you start collecting comics now, you're here for the first. You're here for the first issue of this. My book, Nosfero, and your book is just, a lot of us, because they're very like out of the gate stories, right? I introduce all of these major characters have their first appearance in the first book. Like, it's a book that introduces a lot. It really creates that immaculate reality. And you think about, not that it's anywhere near the scope or certainly the brilliance, but if you think about a book like The Hobbit, it basically laid the groundwork for so much of that world in this short kid story. There's these hobbits. Sure, I'll take that on faith. You know what I mean? It's like there's a place called Bag End. Fair enough. There are dwarves.
Yeah. That's it. Very much like that first chapter is all about hobbits.
Yeah.
Of Lord of the Rings. I couldn't get through The Hobbit, but I did love Lord of the Rings. But yeah,
you should have got a running start. Oh yeah, sorry, the book.
built this whole world out of nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about these things is the fact that we're here, and it's almost a self-sustaining industry. I don't know. I don't think it is yet. I think we do need a constant infusion of new people.
We do.
Because, you know, interests change, the life circumstances change, people drop off. But when I was hanging out, we were doing Camel Show earlier with the video games.
Yeah.
And there was so many new people in the chat. Camel has a bit where he pretends like he doesn't recognize anyone. But this time it was real. I was like, I don't know who this person is. Like, never seen them before. It just blows me away that this whole thing is still not only still going, but it's thriving and growing and changing in ways that no one can really predict.
Yeah. Well, now we're up in the big league.
Shant, they just started up a stream at like friggin' 3 a.m. American time, and you get 50 people in here to watch me, you know, outline some waves.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Man, this is the thing, right? I know that the timing is a little bit more ludicrous where I'm located at this current moment. Although if you think about it, time is relative. But
I think about that too.
But it's
Bless Einstein.
God bless Einstein, indeed. Although I think it was Rabindranath Tagore, by the way, who said no.
Shant, please.
Can't help it, man. That's one of the coolest meetings ever. The Indian polymath meets Einstein, and it's just a great.
We're getting off track, Shant.
Sorry, let me get back to it. We don't need to go into Tagore. It's 4:51 in the morning here. But I feel a responsibility when I see people streaming. Like, they know we can't. It's not that we can never sleep. But it's important for people to feel like Comicsgate is going on somewhere around the world 24/7. It might not be continuous, but it's certainly, there aren't a lot of gaps for it. I love that, because I want to be promoting what we're doing. I want people to, but I also want people to feel like they're a part of something that's always going on. When they're at work, when they're, sitting there backing books, I want them to know we're working to bring them the best stuff we can. And that we're never saying to ourselves, what's the difference between going to bed at 4 and 5? When you really think about it, when you really break it down, not much, And I look at what you're doing, man. You're making beautiful art. You're making cool stuff, There's
a lot of tedium that goes into making cool stuff. And I'm very happy that people are here, that I can unload this tedium onto them as well.
They're the people who are in it all the way, though. Do you know what I mean? When they back these books, man, they feel invested in this process. It's like, the conversation we were having the other night, and you had that great thing you said that cracked me up. I said, this is kind of a weird thing to be talking about this hour, and you were like, this is the hour you talk about this stuff. This is
when else are you going to talk about it?
Exactly. Those are those conversations when, you're up late, with the guys, and you're talking, and you're totally chill. Everybody's too tired, to, be whatever, it's like, and you're just kind of sitting there talking. You have some of the best, or at least for me, I've had some of the best conversations with my friends, and again, that's why I call the show the Waffle Lodge. A lot of it happened at the Waffle House on Brainerd Road, in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and it was.
I always feel like when I talk to you, Shant, you're Kaiser Soze selling me some fictitious tale that you're making up just on the things that are behind me on my wall. And if I look around, there'll be a Waffle Lodge, something there. And then I'll drop I've got my mug here, and I'll drop it. And I realized that you were the
seriously. But I told you about that. Do you remember when I was in that barbershop quartet back in Skokie, Illinois?
Yeah.
There was this guy I knew. He was fat. I mean, he was orca fat.
Orca fat. I mean, we're talking. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let me catch up with the chat here.
Wait, hold on one second. I just gotta say, Hail Redfoot in the chat. Hail Redfoot.
Out of curiosity, what is your autosave interval set for this? I have checked and double checked. It's now down to 15. It annoys me when it autosaves. So 15 minutes is fine. Deano, let me pull that up. I did say I would pull up super chats for €3. You're streaming at a weird time when you get Euro super chats. Thank you so much. He says, got Waking Dream delivery from eBay. Great stuff. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah, Waking Dream is available on the eBay store. The best way to get it is through cgnow.net. You'll find it there. Speaking of cgnow.net, I want to give a shout out to Noctis Draven, who is I'm going to say he's new. He's been hanging around CG for about 6 months now. It looks like his channel's getting more active. He's got a really good setup.
Heck yeah.
Some of those makes me a bit jealous. He's got like all those soundproof things on the wall behind him. Anyway, he's been pretty active on Twitter, but a video of his caught my eye because it was about CG Now and the Lucent.
Nice.
He was just talking about the website. So thank you very much for the shout out.
That's how you get my attention. Talk
Noctis?
about the Lucent. I'm serious. Like if I see somebody, I know you're like this, but I mean, I can't speak for you, but I'm sure you'd probably do, but I get really excited when I see people talking positively about my friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Like I want to reach out. I mean, I assumed you did, but it's just you hang around with certain people, and you know, there's certain people who you form this bond with when you're in CG and you're all making artwork, and you know, you're trying to get things done, and you've got, you know, many of us have families, kids, different ages and things like that. But it's at the end of the day, you know, it's you know, you get into it, and it's like, so when I see someone who is just coming at it from a fan perspective, you know, not coming at it from a perspective of anything other than I like to read these books, it means a lot to me. When I saw that Lucent on the thumbnail, and when he was talking about his experiences with getting, I guess it was sorry, not Vampirilla, Elvira, I guess it was, book from Dynamite versus what he got from you. That's big, man. You know, I felt so proud. I was like so proud of you, and I was so proud of CG, man. It was awesome. I mean, I never doubted it because I have the books, but it's great when other people see it. You know, it's just great.
You put these things out into the world. You have an idea. I mean, I always think I'm a pretty, like, I enjoy a lot of the stuff that's a lot of other people enjoy. So I'm not one of those guys who's like, I only like really obscure stuff. So, you know, if I make something and I really enjoy it, you know, I think, at least I hope that, you know, others will as well.
Yeah.
But you never really know. So it is really cool to sort of hear people talking about it just completely from the outside. They don't know me. I mean, apart from if they've seen me on stream or anything. So they're just giving their sort of opinion on the product that they received.
Yeah.
And it's dope. It's cool.
Thing I love about
it's the thing I miss a little bit of when I used to do webtoons. You got that kind of weekly.
Yeah.
When you do updates, but
well, maybe that's what this is, you know.
Yeah, I think it is. This is the draw streams acted a little bit like I get like a my idea of what a bullpen might have been like way back in the day. Even if you're not on the stream drawing with them, like you're drawing at home while you're watching someone else draw, and there's a sort of a internet camaraderie going on there. But on the stream as well, obviously, you know, we're both working and just chatting, and you know, whatever comes to our mind. I mean, there's an audience here, so it's a little bit different. But I'm sure there's a lot of people in the audience right now who aren't in America. Maybe they are.
Or they're not.
Who are up
think
late.
Of how many people don't comment, man. I've seen a lot of people come in and comment when I've said, you know, I'd like to get some opinions, and people like comment and they're like, yeah, I'm usually just lurking here. This is when they see us doing our, you know, our work, and this is what we're selling, you know, like we're not selling other corporations stuff and other people's brands. So, and I do it just as a reflex because and you do too, I'm sure it's a genuine interest. But that's why I like to talk about Comicsgate books, you know, outside of my own when I'm not talking about my own book. And I love those trailers at the beginning, because if someone is just tuning into my stream, go, oh, this person, like there's a thumbnail that shows this painting, I'd love to see how that happened, and they hit play on the video, first preview they're going to see is for Painted Death. Now, I don't have an audience as big as you do, but if one person, you know, sees it and then they tell a friend, you might like this, that's how this stuff builds, man. It's so cool.
And they tell their friends and their friends and their friends.
And then suddenly you're in Jonestown and everybody's friends.
Just put the what was it? Kool-Aid?
It wasn't Kool-Aid, but that's what it was reported as, and poor Kool-Aid for that. It was Flavor Aid or something.
Oh man, that's like corporate attack. I hope they sued for that.
Yeah. It's my video Don't Drink the Kool-Aid that I have on my Vimeo, where I explain how that whole thing was what it was. is one of my favorite things I've ever made, because it really does talk. They use the exact same language that a certain group of people use today. And you know, it's they were just reeing it to a different tune, but it was, or I should say, reeing it in a different with different lyrics, but it was the same tune.
That's shady. That's shenanigans. I call schemes and scams on that.
It's fudge.
I would also like to report something
Please
that
do.
has been happening lately, which is a positive development for this channel.
Yeah.
It seems that some of my videos are getting picked up by the algorithm.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. So we did a stream the other week, last week, for Edwin for the launch of the Ace.
Yeah.
And it was a little unlucky. You know, he had this thing planned for months and months, and we had to we were up against the auction. So we had this thing planned for months, and it was tricky because I don't normally stream on that day, so I wasn't really sure. And you know, it was a bit of a thing to get it locked in. And then on the night, you know, sometimes we'll have 50, 100, 130 people at a launch, but it was pretty slow. There was about 30 people in here, and you know, it is what it is. That happens from time to time, but
that's why I wasn't on John's, because we were doing a stream with him over on Jeremy's channel.
There you go.
After yours, and Edwin was on there.
Yeah, so I felt a little. I didn't feel bad. At least, I mean, it's no one's fault. It just is what it is. You want to see the launch go as big as possible.
Sure.
And but since then, I think, you know what I think it is? It's an amazing Doodle Bags cover on that campaign. Actually, there's a lot of really amazing art on that campaign. But I put the Doodle Bags cover on there.
Thumbnail.
And I guess it's just resonating with people. So I think we ended the stream with, I don't know, 180 views or something. It's now at 18 or 1900.
My God,
because it's just got picked up by the YouTube algorithms, and he jumped up. I mean, I don't know, say it's, you know, all that, but hopefully some people, wouldn't have seen it before, ended up seeing it. You know, and he's up to, I think, like 50 something backers now. So
let me say this, man, you know, and this is the big thing, right? Ultimately, you know, it's like, you know, if you're asking yourself, like, you know, and I'm not saying it's because of this, I'm not saying it's because of that. The thing we should point out is you're actually, we do not owe other, you know, blah, blah, blah. We're not SJWs. We don't need to feel guilty for our success. We don't need to do any of that stuff. However, that does not make it so that, or that does not require us, and it's not, certainly not a part of CG, to not become incredibly excited at other creators' success when they work hard and do their stuff. And the fact that you're dialed into how his campaign is doing and you want it to do well, and that you're excited that a video about his launch is doing well. I'm the same way, man. You know, I mean, when we were on that stream with Jeremy, I mean, I think we were able to pick up a backer, but I was saying we got to pick up one more backer. We're a couple dollars away. I think it was $8 away from hitting 50% of the funding goal. It's those little things, you know, and I want to try to have, you know, I want to get Eric to, you know, 100K, and I want to, you know, just any campaign I can help out, man. I love that stuff, and you do it so well. You should be, you know, very proud of yourself about that, dude.
Wait, Eric Withers literally lives in Kansas.
That was so, oh man. Wait, what was that? Eric Withers literally lives in Kansas? Battle Brick Road. God. Yeah, and I've actually been to 2 monster truck rallies in Chattanooga. You know, that was after I was in that barbershop quartet in Skokie, Illinois.
Yeah, I was about to say, here we go. We're back to what can I call you?
So there was this kid, man.
Soze?
Yeah, absolutely. There was this guy named Luke Ent. Anyway, the thing about Luke was he was always getting into trouble, you know, and it was crazy. Yeah, he hung out with this girl named Ellie, and she was a redhead, fiery redhead, you know, but kind of quiet, kept to herself. I mean, that girl walked around like she was just floating on air. She was a dreamer, some say. Anyway, when I was...
Should pitch my book sometime.
Yeah.
You get that old timey sort of just good old fashioned vibes,
One day you're gonna get in touch with Lauren and you're gonna say, "Oh my gosh, I don't know if you know me. I was streaming with your husband," and she's gonna say, "My husband died 15 years ago." Who were you streaming? Boom. That's my idea of a plot twist.
We have 54 people in here. Thank you everyone for hanging out with us.
Tip of the hat.
Everyone who's new in here. You are helping me get through this somewhat mind-numbing, but it's satisfying at the same time. It's always satisfying to sort of get it done. This sort of crazy vision of I guess it's like parting the Red Seas sort of thing.
It's one of my favorite things in any works of art is that the visualizing of that.
Yeah. And well, thank you everyone. Welcome. Here we got J-Max. We've got Area Blackness. Hey man, how you going? Eric Hutfuls, CJ. Who else is new here? Who else has popped in? Jeremy Burtz is here. He says, "Hail, Michael and Shant." Val Schnitzel, love that name.
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson, who broke the Armaguard Avatar scandal. You missed out on that. That's the big difference with CG and other groups. We do celebrate when others succeed. There isn't a set-sized pie. The pie is as big as we want to make it, especially when EVS is around pie. Yeah, cook it up.
God, I'm hungry for pie
now. We got Lord Arthur Holmwood. And Eric says the ace is one backer away from 60. There you go.
Hail, brother. I'm so glad to hear
it. He really stepped up the old quality on that too, I noticed. In terms of the variety of art he has on the cam page, and then just the actual sheer quality of the art. And he sold out of his Slam Buddy things.
Oh yeah. Did you see the metal print?
Yes.
Man, that thing is beautiful.
That's the Anthony Figueroa one.
Yep.
Is that the one you're talking about? Yeah, it's gonna look great on metal because it's got that sheen on the wings.
Yeah, Phoenix came on and showed it on and the print and was like, shifting it back.
Oh no, I haven't actually seen the actual.
Oh yeah,
print. I just saw the art.
We got an exclusive look at it on Jeremy's last Monday Night Mayhem before they move midweek. Actually, I think Mo Biggs had my favorite potential name for it, although it might need to be something completely different. But I liked Mo Biggs' idea, which is midweek mayhem. Just keep the mayhem part of it, and just move it then. But
branding is important.
Yeah, man, he's built a lot, man. Jeremy's my guy in New England, man. Love it. Although so is Rich Ayala. Got a lot of guys up here.
I think Amanda's up there too.
I think so. I think Amanda's in Maine, right?
North. Yeah.
Yeah. She's a good ways, but she's within striking distance. If we do conventions in Boston, we can all meet up and say, hey.
Boston.
Yeah.
Boston.
I introduced myself as a Boston cream pie.
People think I'm from Boston because I have a non-rhotic accent.
Yeah, you could. You could be from Boston.
But alas, no. When travel is a bit more easy, it's still not that easy to get out of a street. You can get out, but it's just like there's hoops they want you to jump through. I would love to go over to the States and do like a meetup.
Yeah, man.
Not a convention. I just want to meet up and hang out, do fun things. American things that you can't do here. I would love to go out. I would love to go up and see that part of the country because it is very beautiful.
Yeah, we'll take care of you. You come out here, man. We got people here like it's going out of style.
Just need to start raising some raising some funds. But the good part of it is it's all tax deductible.
It is.
And as I always say, where do I want that money going? Do I want it going to whatever the hell they're going to do with it, the government, or do I invest it in something important like CG?
Well, and the other thing is, like, for people like myself who really are, care about seeing you and having you come to this country, we've gone that extra mile and, become members. We've gone beyond just being subscribers. So anyone interested in becoming a member and getting those extra perks, which I can state on the record that I think they are worth the expenditure. There's great content.
I did share a Rod page today in the VIP Bogan Discord.
I wish I could show it to them and describe how cool it is, but unfortunately,
it involves a dog fight.
That's right.
Ella stumbles across a dogfight in Fractured Mind. Yeah. It's all part of Ella's psyche.
Yeah.
Fractured Mind is all about getting inside Ella's head.
That's right.
What's she doing? Why does she think the way she thinks? And it's going to be interesting because it's going to come out after Painted Death. So there's a lot of it's going to be I can't talk about too much about it, Fractured Mind, yet. I can just show off the glorious Rod Looper art. But once Painted Death is out there in the world and people are aware of more working parts in the Lucent universe, we'll be freer to discuss certain things, like the sort of, this Ella's psyche and why she is the way she is and does the things the way she does. And all this stuff will become, I think it has a lot more depth to it. Or at least the depth is always there. It's just, we're free to enjoy it all together, as opposed to just me and Joe.
Yeah.
Giggling over it together.
Well, I mean, that's how it all starts, right? But then it branches out, and then you got it around the world, man. I mean, I said to Lauren, I was kind of blown away. I said to her, I go, this painting I did in my little office here in this house in Skokie, Illinois, ended up in Australia, on Michael's wall. Yep. And when the frame falls off the wall, right?
It won't. There are multiple.
You better hope it doesn't, because on the back of the frame, it's going to say Kobayashi. and then there's going to be all these quick cuts.
And then I'll run out into the street to see your car just driving.
Do you remember how
away.
Shanth always told me that one arm of his was crooked and broken? And then it's just going to show me walking going, and then I'll get in a car. And just like that.
Mel has never seen that movie.
It's a great movie. Do you know who my favorite person in that movie is? Favorite character out of all of them?
Is it
not Fenster?
Del Toro?
Yeah. Do you see how I could tell where you were going there before you got to it? It's not Fenster.
I'll flip him. What?
I say he'll flip you.
For real.
Flip you for real. That's not the story that McManus gave us. Oh, is that the one about a hooker with a dysentery?
I also like the lawyer, Kobayashi. That's
I might only castrate your nephew, Mr. McManus. Your friend.
Perfect casting, that movie.
He's a legend. But my favorite character in that, believe it or not, in that whole thing is Stephen Baldwin. I loved Stephen Baldwin. And actually, it was a mistake, but they left it in the flick because it was so great. Was, no pun intended, when Redfoot flicks the cigarette at Stephen Baldwin, it hits him in the eye. Like it hit him right by the eye. It was supposed to hit him in the chest. But I love the part when he goes, Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on that farm he shot some guys. And then he says that in the whole, what was the other one? After they shoot everybody in the parking garage, he's like, bad day. Fuck it. I love that.
Sometimes when the black tea, which is my usual go-to drink, isn't enough to keep me alert, I'll get a Coke Zero for that
There you
extra
go.
hit of caffeine because I don't drink coffee.
Mm.
But if we don't have a Coke to this day, I will say there's no Coke.
I play that. I send that to my wife every time we run out of soda. Every time, dude.
Oh,
Scary.
God. Mel,
Some
if
of
Mel
these-
is listening to this, she's like hand in her head, just going, "They're the same."
Yeah, I know, and it's that part where he's going, "There's no fucking Coke.
Coke.
There's no Coke." Love that.
What do you mean? I mean,
Yeah.
there's no
fucking Coke. Yeah, and I love the and again, Steven did some great work in that, man. Yeah, it was. You're absolutely right, John. It was his best performance when he comes out and he goes, "The strangest thing
Yeah.
is," and you're like, "Oh, like that was a great bit of
I don't
establishing."
remember.
Hmm.
I don't remember what I figured out when the first time I saw that because I think I was quite young when I saw it.
Yeah,
But I remember just
it's good.
being like, what? You know?
Yep.
When it was all going down, and it was just like, and when it all happened,
Yeah,
it was the perfect. It just happened perfectly, and you know, the amount of time that happened, the pacing of it, the way it was presented, and then it ends with him saying, "And then like magic, he's gone." Doom.
I gotta say, hail
Cut
D-Wag,
the credits.
Eric Huffles, Old Dirty Fatty, John, all you guys are great. Yeah, that you're right. That is one of the great. Chaz Palminteri does a great job as the guy, you know, interviewing him. But I too as well. But here's another thing I love about that movie. There's these little details in the script that are great, and one of them is the line that the guy who robbed and held up those people that they all have to read: "Hand me the keys, you blanking."
Mhm.
When they're having the interview with all of the guys individually after the lineup, they get to Pollock, who is Kevin Pollock, who's the actor who plays the guy who actually did rob the place. And he goes, I want my lawyer. I'm going to have your badge, you cocksucker. He actually uses the insult that the guy who robbed the thing does. And if you watch it, you go, tip of the hat. He's the guy. You know, it's like in Reservoir Dogs when he's like, he's saying, I don't know who's this and who's to blame or blah, blah. I don't know what's going on. And then it cuts the outside of the car and an orange balloon floats by as a little hint that it's Mr. Orange. And little things like that, you know, like I always loved how in Pulp Fiction, that like so many people, like when John Travolta's character, spoiler alert, catch up, when John Travolta's character is killed in the bathroom by Bruce Willis's character, I always said to them, I go, whose gun was John Travolta shot with? Do you remember that movie?
Well, was it not Bruce Willis's gun?
Well, no, it was a gun that was left out on the counter that he finds.
Yeah, it was like a Uzi, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like an Uzi with I think with a silencer. I don't know what it had on it, but
was that not? Did John Travolta not put that gun down and go take a dump?
No, he didn't.
I can't remember.
He probably had his gun on him when he took a dump. It was Thank you. It was Marcellus Wallace's gun. He went to go get donuts. So when Bruce is leaving, Marcellus is crossing the street to go back. That's his gun. And it's because he's partnered with Travolta because Jules has quit. And so why would Marcellus Wallace, as wealthy as he is, be in such a crappy part of town? He's on a stakeout to whack Bruce Willis. And he goes to get coffee and donuts, leaves his gun there, and his gun is what gets John Travolta killed.
And then he's at the lights and he's like,
and it's that shot from Psycho, right? Where her boss crosses the street when she's trying to make off with the money and she gets stopped at the light. Perfect, man. Love that stuff. Love it. It's just like a lot of people don't know that Bruce Willis's girlfriend in that is pregnant.
You're bringing up stuff. It's been so long.
She's got a pot. I want to have a pot belly.
I want to have.
Everything
I remember her
else
talking
normal.
about the pot belly. I thought that was
Yeah,
cool.
and then she says,
She wants her
Butch.
blueberry pancakes.
Yeah, she's really hungry, but that's not usually what it's like at that phase anyway. But whatever. It's usually a lot of morning sickness from my experience. But she looks over at him and she goes, Butch. She's like, never mind. There's like all these great hints, at that. And yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in there. But
That's why she forgot his watch. She had like
yes.
pregnancy brain.
Mm-hmm.
It all
Your
makes
father
sense
gave me to watch.
now. Can you imagine anyone else doing that?
Nobody
scene?
could have done it. Nobody. It was great.
Was it all
Eventually,
one
he
take?
died of dysentery.
Eventually, he died of dysentery, and
I
didn't
had
want
this
to leave.
uncomfortable hunker medical pants. He wore it for years up his ass.
I mean, he only hit it the only place he could. He hit it up his ass.
So, guys, is this living up to your standard guy hangout? My wife says that all male conversations descend into men quoting movies at each other.
Well, if
Like,
we're gonna quote movies,
Yeah.
let's move to Godfather.
Yeah, let's do it.
I just sometimes I get on a Godfather.
I'm smart. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I put that in the video.
You know, you
Actually,
said-
Aldous, he complimented me on that. He said that was a good
Yeah,
part.
man.
I'm not like everybody says I'm like dumb. I'm smart, and I
Yep.
want respect. I was like that man. That's just that could apply to so many people.
Yes, it could. Yep.
But oh man, I didn't watch The Godfather until very late. I missed it somehow.
It's good though, man. It's good to. I mean, like
it's-
sometimes when you catch these things late, they hit you at the right moment. I'm grateful for every great movie that I didn't watch until I could get it on a nicely remastered version of it, not a crappy VHS tape. I saw Casablanca for the first time in college, and I'm so glad I did.
I didn't watch. God, what's it called? Is it Great What is it? What's the one where it's all about the war in the South, the Civil War, with
Gettysburg?
Scarlett O'Hara?
Oh gosh, Gone with the Wind, man. Yeah.
Gone with the Wind. Yeah, I didn't watch that until really late, until I'd already sort of studied storytelling and cinematography.
They invented production designer, the term, for William Cameron Menzies' work on that film for The Burning of Atlanta. I think I've talked about it on a stream before. You remember William Cameron Menzies? He was in that barbershop quartet I was in Skokie, Illinois.
Oh yeah, him. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was
Totally
fat. I mean, like
real.
orca fat.
That totally
Anyway.
real guy.
Yeah, totally real guy. William Cameron Menzies directed a movie called Things to Come.
I was blown away by that movie. I couldn't
great,
believe
man.
it.
Absolutely.
Like, every single shot was another sort of painting.
Yep.
It was nuts. I like that bootleg. Whose chop is this? It's Zed's baby. No, what does he said? It's not a chop.
No, she's like, whose
bike is
motorcycle
this?
is this? Whose
Who's-
motorcycle is this?
Not a-
It's a chopper, baby. Or it's not a motorcycle, it's a chopper, baby. Whose chopper is this? Zed. Who's Zed? Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. Gotta love it. Yeah, man. Some good stuff, man. You gotta love it.
I gotta get Mel to watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
She didn't want to because of the subject matter.
Yeah.
And some of us, there's just something that we just can't deal with.
Yeah.
And for her, it's Marilyn. What's his name? Charles Manson.
Charles Manson.
Not Marilyn. I was gonna say Marilyn
family.
Manson. No, Charles Manson. And
Yeah, it's
what
upsetting.
happened with what's her face.
And
So I
prayers for
said,
Bruce Willis.
no. It's Think Inglorious Bastards. What happened with Hitler? It's
Yeah.
more like that.
Yes, it's a fantasy.
And, yeah, so she wants to watch it, but it's like, it's just getting it's a long,
pretty
movie.
heartbreaking thing. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely
But
is.
that was great as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are certain actors who were destined to become movie stars, who were destined to become great character actors, and really slide into it. And I think Jack Nicholson and a lot of those guys kind of paved the way for that. Just being able to become these quirky things and not these leading men. And I think Brad Pitt has done so well with the Coen brothers and as well with Tarantino. And I think that, Leonardo DiCaprio and Tarantino's pairing was a brilliant idea.
I think this is my opinion, and people can yell at me if they want. I think DiCaprio is the greatest actor of the generation.
Yeah.
And Brad Pitt is crazy underrated. I don't think he's Leonardo in terms of his breadth, but I didn't really know much about Brad Pitt until I kind of first came across him. He would have been like what was that movie where he had long hair and he was just like he was on all
Legends
the
of the
teenage
Fall.
Girls. Exactly. Then
Tristan.
he's in Fight Club and he's in 12 Monkeys. I've been a big fan of Brad Pitt ever since. And now he's in like things like Moneyball and
You know what his first big attention getter was?
what?
If memory serves, he was the drifter pretty boy who hooks up with in Thelma and Louise, who hooks up with her for one night.
I did
steals
know
the money.
that. I did
And
know
he
that.
was
Yeah, but
cowboy hat, long bangs. He was a pretty boy on introduction, just like DiCaprio was, and he made good choices. He's a smart guy, reads books, pays attention, and reads scripts and pays attention to scripts and pays attention to talent, man. And you got to give it up for them. I will tell you this. I think that I think Johnny Depp falls under that category of actors who will, when they're assessed at the end of the day, they're going to, because his acting choices have built so many interesting characters. And it's you don't see a lot of people. And he was, 21 Jump Street. He was introduced as like my sister had a poster of Johnny Depp from 21 Jump Street on her
Pretty
wall.
Boys. DiCaprio was the same, but DiCaprio, well, like Depp, but DiCaprio was a serious actor from even way back then. He was doing really good stuff.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Yeah,
with Johnny Depp.
Did you ever read that? Did you ever read the book of that?
Are you kidding? Does it have pages? Of course I didn't.
I don't know. Yeah, no, it's
I read the movie.
It was sort of depressing.
Yeah, it is. It is depressing.
Like, I always felt bad for the dad of the wife that
was obese.
What his face was getting on with. I always felt bad.
Oh,
for him.
yeah.
He was doing what he could, and
yeah, he was.
Yeah. Even on Nightmare on Elm Street, says Lord Arthur Holmwood, he was out acting everyone around him. Yeah, he was good. You know what? Matthew McConaughey's first movie got him noticed. Larger Than Life with Bill Murray. It was a comedic role. Matthew McConaughey is another one.
He's a great actor.
He's got that sort of. He's got a little bit of a look and an accent that might hold him back a little bit, or at least I wouldn't say hold him back, but typecast him.
Yeah,
exactly. But we just watched Guy Ritchie. It's new for us. I don't know when it came out. Probably like 7 years ago or something. But we watched a Guy Ritchie movie with him in the lead. It's good. He's great.
Guy Ritchie can direct. Yeah, he is good. Yeah, he's a great actor, man. He's got skills. There's no getting around it. I like. I actually have to say I did enjoy a lot of. Even though the best Sherlock Holmes is always going to be the books, and those books I listen to on audiobooks, but I love Arthur Conan Doyle. He's one of my favorite authors. But the Sherlock Holmes Guy Ritchie did was pretty good. Those were pretty. It wasn't Basil.
It had some classic one-liners in it.
Yep.
Some.
At what
Downey
stage
Jr.
would you say you're in?
Yeah, that's the one.
Contemplative. Now you got to think to yourself. I want you to think about how many memorable quotes are in that movie, right? Now, my guessing with Usual Suspects, anybody could have probably done that. The odds are much less. But when you take a movie that's that long, right? Was that your card? The contemplative line, or no? I don't know if it was now.
As in the favorite line.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Just wanted to point that out. It's weird how we think very similarly. We have a lot of overlap.
No, it's weird. Well, I mean, yeah, it's just I mean, we like good stuff, so
yeah, we do, man.
And that's the memorable line. First time I watched that movie, I became concerned early on, and this is the talent. It was that was Guy Ritchie, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Guy Ritchie. Yep.
Yeah. So this is the talent of Guy Ritchie. He would have known what he was doing, obviously, the way he set that up, because Sherlock Holmes is the great debunker.
Yes.
Even when it appears supernatural, you know, it isn't. And I was like, have they Hollywooded? At the start, have they Hollywooded Sherlock Holmes and turned this into some sort of fantasy thing? Because the evidence just seemed like everything was supernatural. And I was like, but I was having such a fun time with Jude Law and Robert Downey Jr. I was still enjoying it, even though I just had this thing like, oh, are they really gonna like cock it up here?
Yeah.
And then he figures it all out, and it turned from a good movie into a great movie. I was like, I love those movies. It really worked. I thought it was a really good Sherlock Holmes.
Did you see the second one too? Game of Shadows?
Yes.
Did it bother you when they for dramatic reasons translate the German wrong before they fire the cannon?
I don't remember.
It says time to introduce them to little Hansel, but what he actually says first of all, he doesn't say Hansel, and Hansel is Hansel in German, in case anybody's wondering. But he says, God, what does he say in German? He says, too many foxes for too few hens, I think is what he says before they fire that gun. And I always thought that was so much creepier.
They always do that, Sean. Always. It's the translations are never the same. I mean, and anyone who speaks another language will attest to that. It's never the same. Yeah. And it is weird because a lot of times it's like, and I say, Mel, like, why did they translate that way? And she'll be like, oh, because French people don't know what that is. I'm like, English people don't know what it is either. We just, it's poetic, it's language. Yeah. But they want to make things a bit more, I don't know, weird. Even though he was sort of a creation of the movie, I did like that Moriarty. I thought he was like, I like how he was also a boxer.
Oh, yeah, we see the boxing star. Love that.
It wasn't as clean a movie as the first one.
Yes, it was.
In terms of, it was a bit more convoluted. They, everything has to, it's a sequel. Everything has to be ramped up. Everything has to be a bit more over the top. But
the laws of celestial mechanics dictate when two objects collide, there will always be damage of a collateral nature. Love that.
Old Dirty Fatty says Markroft was well cast.
Yeah, he was. Stephen Fry was pretty good.
That was Stephen Fry. Yeah. What do you think of the BBC Sherlock?
I think it had some decent moments. I think the fourth, people will talk about where it falls off, but the fourth season is abominable. I think we can all agree. Hopefully everyone
can't even remember it.
It was absolutely embarrassingly. I mean, they were already, look, it's if it got
was that the Sherlock where there was a sister?
Yes. Oh yeah, and where Mary Morstan can jump faster than a bullet, which is impressive for anybody.
Yeah. Okay. Now I see, because
turned into the
I think
Flash.
I might have like not remembered much of the later stuff.
Yeah, I actually thought that if they had ended with the third season and even that TV movie, but they did this. They really screwed themselves. They left themselves on. This is the biggest sin of that show. It always ended with cliffhangers that they then basically, did what is it called? Oh, for God's
Oh
sake!
yeah, Sherlock
That's my shit.
died, didn't he?
He died in the end of one season. Not the end of that one. At the end of that one, they kill off Mary Morton and stuff. But yeah, he died in one season, and they never really explained how he did it. Because they showed a lot of different alternatives, and there's one that you could possibly believe, but the whole point is that they then even poked fun that they weren't going to really answer it. Then there was the cliffhanger where Moriarty is and him run that standoff, and then the way they get out of it is he gets a phone call. Again, it's like Deus Ex Machina. It's like it's like here it is. Here's the answer. We're going to solve it for you. Because the story hasn't thought it through. And they did that at the end of every season almost. They'd introduce you to something that they put you in a predicament that the writers would just have a random thing come in, to solve, or they wouldn't even address it. And when you end the season 3, and this is how they do things, you've got Mary expecting a kid, you've got them married. You're going to kind of see how that plays out. And I know they got separated, even though they weren't really married in real life. But it's a short series, to have that character do things in such a ridiculous way. And it was a very ridiculous first episode too. That just seemed like it was hell-bent on, I guess, keeping those two apart. But it was, it's a shame because I think it had some potential. And I actually thought he looked good as Sherlock. His performance was great.
Yes. Yeah. He really played that sort of uber autistic Asperger's kind of the really hyper focused to the point where like he doesn't even know that the earth revolves around the sun, sort of thing. Because he doesn't need to know, kind of thing. So all extra information is purged so that he can focus on what he needs to focus on. And I thought they handled this slow development of him and Watson's friendship very well. And the memorable episode for me was their wedding.
I love that episode. Yeah,
where he has to figure out in the middle of his speech
who's the killer.
Yeah,
and how they're going to kill the person.
He's talking with his brother in his head, and yeah, it's good.
His wedding toast was absolutely outstanding. One of the greatest wedding toasts of all time. Well done. My favorite part of that is the part where Watson asks him to be a groomsman, and or the best man, and he's just sitting there, and he goes, "Okay, now it's getting scary." Like he goes. So you're saying I'm your best, and he goes, man, and he goes, friend. Sherlock, it's one of those beautiful little writing moments,
And there's he calls in what's his face, the inspector from like some emergency thing. Yeah, it's like, you have to get here quick. He thinks he's gonna die.
I'm trying to write a speech.
Yeah.
I will tell you, man. That show has got some fantastic stuff in it. I will tell you, if you want to know, this is a dark look into my type. If Yesterday Night wasn't dark enough for you, I'll give you another dark look into the things that speak to me. I love the character of Janine in Sherlock. Do you remember her?
Remind me.
You're in a relationship with Janine. I thought it was fairly obvious. Was he arguing with Mike? Mycroft? Do people actually call him that? Yeah, they do.
Oh, yes.
Comes out in a button-down shirt. Perfect gal for me. There you have it.
You like that?
So
look,
I
eh?
married. That's who I married. That's the gist of it. Cross between Linda and Crocodile Dundee and the original Linda, the actual Linda, and yeah, Janine. That suits me right.
Although
And
that
actually,
Linda from last night wasn't that bad either. I mean,
she was a little I don't know. She was a little kid for me. Something about the face wasn't for me. But
I like that Mycroft is smarter than
Mm-hmm. He is.
Sherlock, but
Yep.
it's not just about raw intelligence. It's about a sort of
Mhm.
obsessiveness and will
Yeah.
and interest as well.
Yeah.
You know, it was a good balance out for that character because he's almost like a god in a way.
Yeah, he
you
is.
know, he can figure things out that no one else can. And it's and Mycroft showed it's not just because he's born. I mean, he is different. It's not just he's like born super duper special. There are
Mhm.
people that are smarter than him, but he succeeds because of his character and his tenacity.
Yeah. He goes out and does the legwork, as they say, and goes and solves the stuff. And I think
it's like Superman isn't Superman just because he's really strong and bullets can't hurt him. You know, there's
got it.
other things to his character that make him Superman when there's plenty of other characters in the DC universe that are stronger than him or can do other things that he can't do.
Like Batman. That's the coolest. That's the coolest thing about what comics can do. I don't design. I try. I don't. You know how people sometimes try to think about their characters by doing like character analysis and that kind of thing, which is a fine way some people work that way. But for me, I always think of how do my characters work together. You know what I mean? Like it's they say I forget who it was, but I think it was Jordan Peterson who said that a good friend knows how to tactfully assist you, and they use it with extreme, infrequence when you need a nudge to get you right back on track. But more importantly, friends are people, or equally important is friends are people that help you to celebrate your accomplishments, your successes, which goes back to what we see a lot of in CG, people celebrating other people's successes. They help other people celebrate their successes. They say, good job. Wow, you crossed 50%. We mean it. And I was thinking about that with my characters. I always think about, stuff that is what's simple things like what's the secret that this character has? You know what I mean? That they're not telling other people. What's the part of their personality that you see versus the part of their personality that they're reluctant to ever share? So if it's, a shy character, there's their, that they've got this crazy part of them, that could come out. If it's a character who is very calm, cool, and collected, it could be that they've got this sort of simmering rage in them. You know what I mean? Or they've got some quality about them, whatever it is. And it's when you bring that over to the visuals and you start looking at character gestalts, do I have a character that's taller? Do I have a character that's smaller? Do I have a character that's, is there a good, well-rounded cast? I mean, it's like when George Lucas was coming up with Star Wars, one of his favorite movies in the world was the movie he used to come up with his character gestalts for the cast of heroes in Star Wars. It's kind of weird, man.
Which movie was that?
Wizard of Oz. Chewbacca is the cowardly lion. Chewie, you big coward, come here. And he's in a hallway with emerald, city lights that the cowardly lion jumps through those windows. He's in a very similar kind of space when that happens. C-3PO is the Tin Man. R2-D2 is Toto, without a doubt. It's tough because in a lot of ways, Luke is much more Dorothy in that story because it's a guy's adventure story, but everybody's got their kind of visual look, out around the heroes that give you this sense of a well-rounded thing. And there's range of scale. I always say that when you have really great creators like Hayao Miyazaki and even Mobius, they do some really cool stuff with character scale in their fantasy worlds. Very, very small characters, very, very tall characters. That's the stuff that has interested me as of late. But yeah, thinking how all my characters fit together, and how you can see where Amun al-Hazard had the ring that is like the Phantom ring, not like the ring. Although it's funny because it's absolutely, there. But when you show somebody missing a finger, it asks a visual question to you. And if it's not just totally arbitrary and it grows out of the natural evolution of the story, then it gives that object, when you see it, so much more meaning because you understand its history with a couple of notes, that something important has happened. And even if you come to think of it, if you do think of Lord of the Rings, that's a very simple ring when it's just chilling.
Yeah, it's just a gold band.
Yeah, it's just a band,
It's hidden.
So it's when they knock on the door, just like in Oz. Yeah. It's
speaking of your characters, what are you working on there? Because I'm about to close this out. So just show off.
It's getting late. You should go to bed. I'm kidding. I just love saying that, man. Hold on, let me see if I can find this. Hang on. I was working on this little section right here. So let me see if I can make this happen. There we go. Let's see if that comes on there. Yeah, so Pollen's women, by the way, support pulp. But this, I can never get the lighting on this to work. I don't know what is going on. But it looks like it's way too dark. But whatever. See if I can get this camera to adjust. Something up with this camera. Do you see what I mean? Hang on a second. I'm going to switch cameras back. Settings.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies, indeed, man. So this is what I've been working on. I'm working on the bookmark and painting all of these little details in on the dog, Phantomas. She's going to be reading the book, The Necronomicon Galactica, which I love that idea.
Now, is that a 1-to-1 scale of the bookmark? Is this going to be the world's biggest bookmark?
It's like a 2-up.
It's like a banner.
So I want it to be detailed as, like, when this thing reduces. So I do the layouts smaller than, and then you're a designer. You do everything I do. You know all this stuff, right? Like, it's part of the game. That's great water, dude. Really nice.
It's getting there, isn't it? It's getting there.
It's
I think I'll be finished this in a day or so, and all then I have to do is just draw the people.
Ivan Anovsky's work by any chance?
Maybe. I'm not good with names.
Don't worry about it. I'm going to put it in the private chat, but just do yourself a solid and copy it and paste it into Google just for yourself, But he's Ivan Ivazovsky is a Russian painter who I really admire, who did some really crazy wave stuff every now and again of like a shipwreck and things like that. Mm-hmm. And I think even though it's not what, I don't know what your colors are going to be on this because you've got such a clear color sense, but I can see you riffing off of it. You know what I mean? And going like, oh, this is kind of interesting. I wouldn't do that, but I might do this.
Cool.
Really interesting cat. Yeah, I love his stuff. But yeah,
I might be a little bit limited with the palette choice in this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a story-based issue, like where they actually are. Mm-hmm. But I'm always open to looking at new stuff. Anybody? We got 50 people in 55. We had like what is this? Hello.
Keown's writer. There you go. It's Pitt.
Keown's writer is muted.
It's got to be Diaz, man.
Yeah, I see the background.
It's Phil.
And he's out. And he left.
Phil's got to do it, man. Phil's got to do it.
Phil.
Oh, man. Speaking of, I got to go. Phil's telling me to come to bed. So I got to
go. Okay. All right. Yes,
But,
do go, and we got 50 people in here. Please, if you haven't, go check out Nosfero
Yeah, absolutely,
over
guys.
on Indiegogo, and also sub to Shanth. He does this all the time over on his channel, and more people need to know about it. Sign up to Painted Death. Enter the Not That Bad giveaway at notthatbad.win. We're giving away a whole bunch of cool stuff. And other than that, I will see you all tomorrow. Or is it tonight? I don't know. It's tomorrow for me. On
Take care, brother.
Late Night with Comic Skate. I'll see you guys around. All right. Bye.
Take care.
This country, you gotta make the money first. Then when you get the money, you get the power. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman. That's why you gotta make your own moves.